there, it's Linda here. Thanks for joining me today as I join in with the scrapbook.com affiliates with the Just Cards video hop. This month our theme is rainbows, so I'm using this gorgeous Concord and 9th Blooms fill-in stamp set to create 2 rainbow cards. The first one I'll be using my Distress Oxide inks, and the second one I'll be using my Distress inks. So starting off, just getting my stamp in place over the top of my cardstock. This is not watercolor card for this one. I'm just using the Oxide inks for this one, so I've just chosen my normal cardstock, and I'm going to color up my stamp with all my Distress Oxide ink pads. Just finishing off with Wilted Violet, that last little corner there, and then flipping it over and stamping it down. Now this first stamp is a bit patchy, so thank goodness, that's the beauty of the MISTI. I just grab my Distress Oxide inks out again and cover my stamp and have a second go, and even a third go in some little spots, until I've got the whole card front covered and I'm happy with the coverage for all the different ink colours. So I'm not showing you that whole process over again because I don't want to bore you to tears. So I've chopped out some bits. I've stamped the pink, red and orange, and now I'm stamping the green, blue and purple, and then it looks pretty good. So I grab my Ranger Distress sprayer, and you see me spraying my stamp here and then stamping that over the top. That just adds some splotches, and then I grab out the nozzle and, oh that's right, I splattered on a few water droplets, and then I use the Perfect Pearls mixture that I have in a little Ranger mini mister, and I spray that all over for a nice sparkly shine as well. And on to card number 2. This time I do have watercolor cardstock stuck in place, and I'm using my little Distress ink cubes. I've got picked raspberry and festive berries, and then I use, oh, what's that orange one? Spiced marmalade and mustard seed, mowed lawn and mermaid lagoon, followed by, the purple one is seedless preserves, and I finish off again with a bit of picked raspberry. Then I spray the Distress inks on the stamp and stamp it down. I grab a tissue and soak up a couple of little spots that mixed where I didn't want there to be too much colour, and I just tilt it a little bit to get a bit of movement. And then I go back to my stamp with the same colours and I ink it up again, adding over the top of where I applied the colour before. And I notice here it's just a bit messy, so I just get rid of those mixed bits and continue on with those colours that I mentioned before. Just checking where my mowed lawn has got to go and popping that in the right position on the stamp, adding the blue, the purple and the picked raspberry. I have to be careful with the purple and green because they can make a yucky colour, so I don't want them to mix too much. Spray it again, stamp it down. I love the way it all mixes and blends, and it's so vibrant. The Distress inks are just beautiful. So back to my Distress Oxided piece, and I've got the little flower inner portion here, and I decided that gold heat embossing would look nice on this card. So I'm stamping first of all in Versamark ink. I've used my powder tool on there first so that there won't be lots of little stray bits. Sprinkle on my Nouveau Classic Gold embossing powder, which is really beautiful embossing powder. So easy to use and it melts like a charm. I do need to heat my heat tool quite a bit. I get a bit impatient and I go to the paper sometimes before it's had long enough to heat, which is really not the best thing to do because you end up burning your powder instead of melting it. So I do have to make myself wait, and I continue on following those same steps for each flower on this card, stamping with the Versamark and then gold heat embossing using the Nouveau Classic Gold. So to continue with my gold theme, I grab my Heidi Swap Gold Colour Shine and take out the nozzle and blop on lots of different sized droplets all over my card front, and then I put that aside to dry and I move on to my distress ink piece. I decided that black would work great with these bold distress ink colours. So I'm using that inner flower portion again, and the ink I'm using for the nice bold black image is Versafine Onyx Black. Once I've got those all stamped in place, I've got the leaf image from the stamp set, and I'm using two different colours of MFT inks, Grout Grey and Cement Grey, and I'm stamping the leaves and the little veins onto the leaves using those two inks. Then there's a little berry image in the set, and I'm using Silver Versa colour ink just to stamp those little berries all around my card front, randomly around the flower images. And I thought the silver just added a nice touch with the bold black. Then it's a matter of grabbing my white jelly roll pen, and I'm just adding some tiny little white details all over my card front. Now, time for the sentiments, and this one is going to be black and white. So I decided I wanted that banner shape, so I've used the die there to cut each end of the little die cut piece, and I'm using an MFT Dynamics sentiment there, as you can see, and I'll just lay the black die cut piece over my white die cut piece, and all of that will lie on the top, over the top of this black twine, which I'll hold in place with some double-sided tape, as you see me doing now. Then it's just a matter of adhering my two pieces together, adding a strip of foam adhesive to the back, tearing off the backing paper both there and on my double-sided tape strips, and then I'm able to lay my sentiment right down in the middle to hold everything in place, and using my T-square ruler just to make sure everything is nice and straight. I'm going to add birthday, so this message reads birthday hugs. That little birthday is from the MFT Essential Sentiments set, so I'm cutting it down so it's a nice little strip, and I'll just adhere it up above the word hugs there. And I've already adhered some Kaisercraft rhinestones to the centre of my flowers on that card. Now on my Distress Oxide card, I'm adding gold and white for the sentiment, and you can see I've used the banner again, a smaller version, and I've used a Tim Holtz sentiment here, celebrate sentiment. And I've already got pearls, Kaisercraft pearls stuck down to the center of my flowers on this card, all varying colors to fit in with the rainbow theme. So just cutting off my sentiment there. Once I'm happy with placement of it, I add some enameled dots in black and then some Nouveau gold dots, and that finishes my cards off for today. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you again next time. Bye now.